In this video, I'm going to show you how to install aluminum pipe flashing for your S-shaped concrete tile roof. So we've already got our base flashing in with our underlayment. Again, remember that the whole concept for tile roofs is that your underlayment and your flashing on your underlayment is going to be 100% waterproof. So you can see here, if any water were to pour on here, it would come on top of the flashing and flow off. Now we're going to come up and install our tiles. Once we get to this base flashing, I'll show you how to install the aluminum flashing on top, which is a little bit different than flat tiles. If you haven't watched our other videos on how to properly align tiles, you can do so. That's why we're installing 3 tiles before we put any nails in. The cut on this tile is not extremely crucial. You want to have an inch or 2 gap between the tile and the base flashing itself. On a real world roof, what we would do is also actually caulk this joint right here. We would put adhesive caulking between the flashing and the pipe. For this demonstration, we're not, but generally you want to do that. And again, the cut on this is not extremely important. You don't have to worry about getting it too close or too perfect, as this can be covered completely with the aluminum flashing. All right, now you might have noticed we skipped over one tile, and this is not nailed down. You don't want to nail this down as it is, and the reason for that is you're right on top of your flashing. So if we were to put a nail in through here and water were to come down, we're at a vulnerable area right here. So what we can do in areas like this where you don't want to nail, you can just use any type of tie wire. We're tying it there. And we can go up the roof and put a nail here and tie this in. That's good. So I've got that loosely wrapped around, and he's going to secure that down. That way, this tile is nice and tight, it's not going to slide down, and we haven't penetrated our flashing around this pipe. Now that we've got our first layer installed, or our base layer right underneath our pipe, what we're ready to do is install our aluminum flashing. On any type of tile with a profile, you want to use aluminum top flashing, so whether that's a T-top, a vent, or a pipe flashing, we're going to be using aluminum. The nice thing about aluminum is that it's super soft, easy to bend, and on the field you can just bend it with your hand, bend it with a hammer to make sure you match the tile profiles. If we were to install a flat galvanized flashing, you can imagine how awkward it would be, and it would be essentially impossible to bend this down. But with this, we can really mold it with our hands. Now, on a real roof, what we would also want to do is paint this flashing, paint this aluminum prior to installation. For this demonstration, we're not going to be doing that. Now, another thing that's good to do is in areas like this where it slopes down, the flashing, what you can do is you can bend it slightly up, and what that'll do is if any water gets in here, you're forcing it to come off the roof as opposed to it being flat and pressing it down all the way. Any water that can get in here can get underneath this tile. The concept on tile roofs, whether it's a flat or S-shaped tile, is pretty much always the same. You want to bring the water on top of the tile as much as possible. Now this doesn't really need to be nailed down. You can put one nail up here if you'd like. However, I don't believe it to be necessary at all. So we've already got this tile right here pre-cut. You can see we've got about a ½ inch to an inch wider on all 3 sides. It really doesn't matter because we've got our aluminum flashing underneath here that's going to allow that water to come off the roof. There you have it. Your pipe flashing is installed, your aluminum is in, and any water that gets in here is going to flow off the roof. You can see it's bent nicely to the shape of the tile. Again, remember, regardless of the profile you're using, you can use aluminum flashing to get the exact shape you want it to. And again, just remember, the only thing that is left to do here is seal the joint just like any other pipe flashing and put a final paint coat on it, and you're all good to go. Guys, thanks for watching. If you have any other techniques that I might have skipped over, let me know. I would love to hear from you in the comments below.